You're listening to a production of the National Media Archive. To learn more or volunteer, go to nationalmediaarchive.com.
For thousands of years, crystals have gripped humanity with a weird, magnetic pull. Their see-through shimmer, sharp geometric forms, and colors that basically look photoshopped, yeah, it's no wonder people get obsessed. Every crystal is a frozen moment of Earth's drama, born through pressure, time, and the right cocktail of chemistry. And each one, a reminder that nature really doesn't do basic. But there's one place where this obsession isn't just alive. It's supercharged. Welcome to Tucson, Arizona, a desert city with Spanish colonial roots, once a Mexican settlement, now the global capital of rock madness. Every year, Tucson goes full crystal core, hosting the biggest gem and mineral event on the planet. Spread across 40 miles, the Tucson Show isn't just one event. It's 57 separate shows jammed into January and February. And when it kicks off, it's pure chaos. Jewelers, miners, collectors, and a bunch of folks chasing sparkle fly in from every continent. For dealers, those 3 weeks leading up to the show, it's a sprint. The kind of high-stakes packing, shipping, and setup that makes wedding planning look chill. The Keno Sports Complex is where the flex hits max. It's the largest, wildest venue in the entire lineup. Massive tents pop up overnight, some reaching over 80 feet high and 150 yards long. And then there are the minerals. One Brazilian amethyst geode weighs 4 tons, stretches nearly 4 yards, and costs thousands to haul cross-country. Its final destination? River Park. Getting it in place without turning it into a pile of purple gravel? That's a slow, careful mission. Tucson's hotel scene basically turns into a mineral bazaar. Thousands of rooms get taken over by 1,800 exhibitors. Beds disappear under display cases. The whole city becomes a gem-crazed melting pot, where every corner, every booth is a chance to stumble across something that belongs in a museum. And that's the point. Tucson isn't just commerce. It's discovery. Every color, every shape, every mineral imaginable. But where do they come from? The mineral madness scene in Tucson is the final stop for stones that started their journey billions of years ago. Most of the 5,000 mineral varieties on Earth were formed through intense geological drama, volcanoes, tectonic clashes, hydrothermal reactions. It's a whole periodic table of magic, frozen in crystal form. To get technical without putting anyone to sleep, minerals form when molten magma cools and solidifies. The slower it cools, the bigger and purer the crystals. Tourmaline, topaz, quartz, those showstoppers often appear in the final stages of this cooling, when the rarest elements are still swirling around in the leftover liquid. Then there's the hydrothermal route, where hot water and rock react underground. Same result. Killer crystals. Jean-Claude Bouillard, curator of one of the world's top mineral collections at Pierre and Marie Curie University in Paris, breaks it down like this. Atoms line up into specific patterns, stacking in perfect geometric order to create the visual structures that make crystals instantly recognizable. Color? That depends on chemistry. Iron, for example, throws down blues and greens. Add copper and things get wild. This color-coded chemistry plays out in real life near Mount Kilimanjaro in northern Tanzania. A few miles from Africa's highest peak lies the only place on Earth where tanzanite is mined. The Marilani site, controlled by Tanzanite 1 and sitting on Maasai land, has been a gemstone hotspot for over 40 years. But it's not the easy surface-level stuff anymore. Miners now go down nearly 3,000 feet to chase the tanzanite vein. Strip mining days are over. Geologists track the blue crystal vein wherever it leads, no matter how deep. Reaching the latest blasting zone takes more than half an hour underground. And even then, there's no guarantee what they'll find. It could be gem-grade glory or crushed disappointment. What makes tanzanite so unique is its trichroism. It flashes burgundy, blue, and brown, depending on the angle and lighting. But color isn't enough. For jewelry, the standards are brutal. It has to have the right tone, clarity, and shape. The rest? Cut and sold, or left behind entirely. Collectors want untouched crystals, not pieces that look like they lost a fight with a jackhammer. That's the line between jewelry stones and mineral samples. Damage makes the difference. Some stones do get lucky. The best are shipped across the world, and some land on the radar of luxury houses like Cartier. They've been showing up at Tucson for years, searching for the one stone that sparks the next high jewelry piece. For Cartier designers, the gem is the origin point. The shape, the hue, the story, all of it inspires the final design. And Tucson? It's where that process begins. As Tucson draws closer, gem dealers like Brice Gobin are on the move. After leaving Arusha in a rush, he heads 500 miles south to Mahenge, another Tanzanian hotspot, this time for spinel. These open-pit marble mines occasionally deliver blood-red crystals so transparent they get mistaken for rubies. In 2007, this same region coughed up the largest uncut red spinel ever found, nearly 115 pounds. From that single block, almost 100,000 carats of gemstone were carved. But timing is everything. Brice arrives late, the exceptional stone he came to see, already snatched by Thai dealers and shipped off to Asia. Happens a lot in this game. Blink and it's gone. He shrugs it off, hoping to track it down later, maybe even in Tucson. That's the thing about the Tucson show. It acts like a global checkpoint. If a crystal's out there, odds are it'll pass through Tucson eventually. Even scientists say the same. A geologist who toured over 60 emerald sites once claimed he saw more rare emeralds for the first time in Tucson than in decades of fieldwork. It's that packed. A convergence point for every mineral under the sun. The desert location isn't just about vibes. Arizona has serious mining history. Cowboys, gold rushes, copper veins, and a long line of people who risked it all underground. Back then, a person had 3 options: ride the rails, work cattle, or drop into a mine shaft. That legacy is why Tucson feels like the right place for a mineral show. It's baked into the landscape. On the San Carlos Apache Reservation, the story continues. Here, miners are still pulling bright green peridot from the ground. Stevie, a Navajo Apache miner, runs Peridot Dreams, a business built on his obsession with these lime green crystals. He dreams about them. Literally. Digging with a chisel, hunting hidden pockets, he's in deep. And like everyone else in the business, he's pulled toward Tucson. It's the ultimate meeting ground for miners, collectors, and buyers. And yes, Stevie is fully packed and ready to go. When the Tucson show finally opens, it's pure overload. At the Kino complex alone, 175 stands compete for the attention of 15,000 visitors. Geodes taller than toddlers, quartz chunks that look like alien tech, peridot crystals pulled fresh from Apache land. And that's just one location. Across town, Jean-Claude Bouillard, yes, same guy from the Paris Museum, is back, scouting new finds. He's checking out minerals like copper ore, another Arizona classic, and a stone called mukite. Polished, it reveals fossilized microorganisms and vivid iron oxide stripes, literal snapshots of Earth's deep history. Over at River Park, things scale up fast. One centerpiece, a massive flame-shaped quartz, clocking in at over 1,300 pounds. Shipped from Brazil, sculpted in the state of Minas Gerais, giant citrine geodes, agate slices that look like psychedelic lava lamps. To seasoned mineral pros, this isn't just display, it's emotional. Some pieces evoke stormy skies, others hold a spectrum of color inside what seems like a single shade of gray. You stare long enough, and it moves. Tucson isn't gated off from the public either. That's a big part of the charm. Kids wander through hotel lobbies turned mineral markets. Parents carry bags of specimens. Everyone's in. The River Park, the Holiday Inn, the Tucson Inn, even the Days Inn. They're not just full of travelers. They're overflowing with lapis lazuli, pink opal, amethyst, malachite, chrysocolla, and every mineral with a name that sounds half magical. And for the ones that don't meet gem-grade standards, there's still use. Hard stones with minor flaws often end up carved into sculptures. A not-quite-perfect barrel might become a fish. A cloudy tourmaline, maybe an abstract art piece. When you're working with something born in volcanic pressure chambers, even the rejects can be beautiful. Between the big-name shows and those side markets, one spot stands out, the Tucson Inn. Crammed with international vendors, it's the most diverse venue by a long shot. Bed frames double as storage. Mattresses are pushed against walls to make room for shelving. It's chaotic, weirdly cozy, and fully alive. Jean-Claude's back at it, scoping out specimens that light up under ultraviolet light. He's particularly into Tiffany stone, a cocktail of opal, manganese oxides, and fluorine. Under a UV lamp, it glows with fluorescent patterns that look like alien tattoos. It's a niche interest, sure, but in Tucson, even niche gets a spotlight. The show isn't done growing. As more cut stones arrive in town, 2 high-security events crank the energy up even higher. The first is the ATA Gem Fair, short for American Gem Trade Association, and it's strictly for U.S.-based dealers. The second is the GJX, the Gem and Jewelry Exchange, which opens to global sellers. Between the two, 1 million carats of stone, collectively worth several hundred million euros. These aren't your usual diamonds and sapphires either. This is the realm of the obscure, the rare, the kind of stones even seasoned buyers haven't heard of. At Agtier, Bill Larson, president of Pala International, is setting up shop with his family. It's serious inventory, enough to overwhelm even veteran gem dealers. His son's there too, estimating at least 1 million carats on the floor, maybe more. Dozens of his friends are also exhibiting. Tucson has layers, and this is one of the more elite ones. Inside GJX, it's a different game. This is where collectors and traders go looking for the unfamiliar, the stones that aren't household names yet. One dealer from Germany lays it out plain. Forget rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and diamonds. Everyone knows those. But stones like tsavorite, a green garnet rarer than emerald, are starting to catch attention. In fact, with the same clarity and cut, tsavorite can be 10 times rarer than emerald. The pitch is simple. Scarcity equals value. People are finally waking up to the fact that rarity isn't limited to the big four. Color matters. Story matters. And some of these lesser-known stones have both. It's not about downgrading prestige. It's about expanding what prestige means. Over at another booth, a tourmaline from Brazil turns heads. It's green, with a bluish tint, deep and vivid like an ocean shadow. One gem expert compares it to an emerald shimmer, but with an electric edge. First time seeing a Paraíba tourmaline, it hits like color overload. Expensive? Definitely. But it's the kind of stone that rewires how people think about what a gem should be. Back in the world of uncut crystals, the Westward Look show takes over a luxury resort on the edge of Tucson. This is a different level of mineral obsession. Fine minerals in a fine setting. These aren't geodes from the tourist tent. These are museum-grade specimens, each worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions. Collectors and elite dealers gather in hotel rooms that look more like galleries. The idea? A quiet, elevated environment to appreciate stones as high art. Jean-Claude's boxes from Tucson might end up here. So might a rare fluorite or a museum-quality aquamarine cluster. Some dealers even prep their minerals for weeks in labs, brushing, stabilizing, and revealing perfect formations hidden under rock. In one corner, a whisper starts circulating. There's a mystery deal going down. Something rare, possibly massive. Rob Levinsky, a big name in the mineral world, is preparing to trade a mineral specimen that matches the color of his Bentley, peacock blue, for something even rarer. The stone? Azurite, rich and vivid, with color so pure it looks digitally enhanced. Calls are made, meetings are set. Someone whispers millions, but nobody confirms. This is Tucson. If you're not in the room, you'll never know the full story. And honestly, most people don't want to. The secrecy is half the appeal. Daniel Trinchillo, another heavy hitter, unveils two incredibly rare stones. Pezzo Tete, also known as Imperial Morganite from Madagascar. A handful of bidders are allowed to view them. The vibe? High-stakes poker with gemstones. No one says who won. No one says how much was paid. Just nods, handshakes, and the stone disappearing into a private case off to an unknown destination. While the elite dealers play high-stakes gemstone chess, others roam Tucson with nothing but a backpack and raw ambition. Enter Barefoot, a roving dealer who does security work on the side while slinging minerals out of a gem box. No storefront, no bank loans, just trades, flips, and stone-for-stone deals in a marketplace that somehow respects both billionaires and dirt road dreamers. Barefoot isn't in it for the money. He's chasing that hit of finding a stone no one else has. And in Tucson, that energy is everywhere. This year marks the 60th anniversary of the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. It's the original show, the only one not entirely built around selling. Hosted by the Tucson Gem and Mineral Society, it began in 1955 at Helen Keeling Elementary School with just 10 dealers. Now, over 250 exhibitors and 20,000 guests from all over the world pack into the convention center. Skulls carved from native gold, cut stones, rare mineral specimens, geological oddities, and ancient fossils. Every table is a showcase of deep time, crystallized. Kids hold chunks of fluorite. Adults geek out over patterns formed by prehistoric iron oxidization. A piece of polished mookaite reveals the planet's oxidation event, the moment oxygen first entered Earth's atmosphere. The dealers don't just save their leftovers for this show, they save the best. It's where mineral legends debut new finds. And it's where the public for once gets to touch what usually stays behind velvet ropes in a natural history museum. For many collectors and curators, this show is the heart and soul of the entire Tucson experience. But the mineral hustle doesn't stop there. After the main show wraps, some dealers hit the road again. One of them heads to the Pala mining district in California to scope out a pocket of kunzite. The mine? Ocean View. The operators? Bill Larson and his family. Yes, same guy from the AGTA showcase. The Larsons don't just sell gems, they dig them out of the earth themselves. Since the 1960s, they've been working these mountains, pulling out tourmaline and kunzite from pockets that sometimes sit untouched for decades. For them, mining isn't just business. It's obsession, a fever. Pull out a perfect crystal, and the adrenaline hits harder than any stock portfolio ever could. Bill's sons started mining as toddlers. They describe it like an addiction. You strike something great, celebrate, and then immediately wonder, what's hiding in the next hole? It's the same rush that powers the entire industry, from Tanzanian mine shafts to Paris jewelry studios. Some of the stones uncovered in Tucson begin new lives the moment they leave the desert. In Paris, luxury jewelry houses like Cartier begin designing around them. One standout, a natural 79-carat tanzanite cut in the rare sugarloaf shape. It's placed on a designer's wrist, not to wear, but to visualize. Should it become a bracelet, a brooch, a centerpiece? The gem decides. Designers pull inspiration from the stone itself, its shape, origin, and mood. A tanzanite from Tanzania might evoke mountain silhouettes, African sunsets, or deep twilight skies. But back in the colder, grayer light of Paris, the stone's color can shift. What glowed warm in Tucson may cool off under studio lighting. To avoid any nasty surprises, every gem goes through expert analysis. At a specialist gemology lab, the tanzanite is weighed, measured, and photographed. The top priority: confirm whether it has been treated. Heat treatment is common in gemstones, used to amplify color, but for high-end clients, untreated is everything. That authenticity adds both rarity and value. Meanwhile, Jean-Claude Bouliard is back at the Pierre and Marie Curie University in Paris. He's prepping the newest additions to the school's museum collection, pieces selected from this year's Tucson Hall. It's one of the oldest collections in Europe, with over 1,400 specimens on display, many of them acquired through decades of relentless global pursuit. The global gem scene is shifting fast. China, Pakistan, and the broader Himalayan region have exploded with new discoveries. Entire subcontinents are opening up, bringing minerals to market that no one thought possible even 30 years ago. And as always, Jean-Claude's mission stays the same: find the best examples, preserve them, and make them available to the public. Back at Cartier, the stones that do get selected start their transformation. Once a design is approved, it can take more than a year to complete a single piece of jewelry. Every step, casting, setting, polishing, is deliberate. In one case, the metal structure is crafted in dry gold, flanked by diamond bands. Once the tanzanite fits perfectly, it's locked into place, not just to hold it securely, but to let it breathe, to avoid the tacky look of cheap plexiglass imitations. It takes 48 hours of labor just to set the stone. Months of concept work, and then, just like that, it's sold. Designer Jacqueline Karachi knows what it means when a finished piece walks out the door. It's not just a sale, it's a goodbye. Months of effort vanish into private collections, vaults, or wrists at exclusive galas. But that's the goal. The true destiny of fine jewelry is not to sit behind glass, it's to be worn. For the Paris Mineral Museum, though, the stones stay. Forever. New acquisitions are welcomed in a quiet ceremony. They take their place among a 2-century-old collection. They're cataloged, labeled, and installed under lights that bring out their best angles, ready for the next wave of students, scientists, and awestruck visitors. Crystals born from volcanic eruptions and tectonic collisions, passed from miners to dealers to designers, now stand frozen in time again, this time not underground, but in glass. And for those chasing the next great gem, the road always leads back to the same desert town, Tucson.